Hey friends, it's Sarah, and today I have a little free library adventure for you. So a few weeks ago I made a little free library unhaul video where I took a bunch of my books off my shelves and put them in little free libraries to free up more space on my physical TBR shelf, which has since been filled, so it's fine, it's okay. But y'all really seem to enjoy it, so I thought I would do another little free library video. This time it's sort of a haul, it's more of like a little adventure, and I do get a couple books, but not a ton, thankfully. So I dragged my boyfriend with me, and we went out on what was probably the hottest day of the week. It was like 28 or something degrees Celsius, which is upper 80s for you Fahrenheit folk. But I am a little baby Canadian, and I cannot do heat very well. So even though we started out with like ice caps from Tim's and water with ice in it, I was fully like the color of this flower. My face is so pink, you'll be able to see in the video, and I was melting by the time we finished this walk, which was only like an hour long, but it was a lot. I had to have a nap. I had to like lay down afterwards. But it was lots of fun. So before we left, I looked up little free libraries in the area on the Little Free Library website, but also on Google Maps, which gave me like a little Venn diagram of little free libraries in the area, which was kind of annoying because then I had to like copy down all of the addresses from the Little Free Library website and put them into like Google Maps as well as the ones that are already in Google Maps. So I wish there was a little bit more cohesion between the two mapping sites, but it's fine. It was all right. We figured it out. And the neighborhood that we were in has a slightly older demographic. So like a lot of the books that we found there, which is similar to like the Little Free Libraries in the last video, they had a lot of like Danielle Steele and James Patterson and Nora Roberts and kind of books like that where it's an older crowd who tend to gravitate towards them. And then I feel like if you've read one like James Patterson book, the rest are fairly similar. Like, you know, it's a consistent, you know, you're gonna get like the same quality, but they're also not gonna be like hugely different. So once you've read it, you probably want to pass it on so that someone else can enjoy it, and because you're like, yeah, I've read the story, it's like all the other James Patterson books. And that's like pretty consistent across like most little free libraries that I have visited near me. Sometimes there's also like children's books or like some weird older books that have bizarre titles and weird covers. There's like some kind of like Harlequin romances in there as well. But I feel like I've seen a lot of people who do little free library hauls and they get like so many really cool books. And I don't know if it's just like where I am or that like the population density in like the US is like higher, so there's like more little free libraries and like more people putting books in little free libraries. And there's also like the book of the month subscription that I know like a lot of YouTubers are sponsored by. So like there's those books around a lot more, which like we can't get in Canada. So like I see a lot of people find book of the month books like in little free libraries, and that's like a new release hardcover, which is pretty sweet. But we don't have that in Canada. And so a lot of the books that I find are like backlisted ones, are like older, and I don't tend to find a lot of like new releases that I'm like super excited about, which is good because if I did find a lot of those, they would come home with me and I would have even less space. But it's sometimes a little disappointing when I go to a few little free libraries and like I can't find anything. I don't know if that's like just my area where I live. Like, do y'all find cool books in little free libraries? And like, whereabouts are you? Are you in like a city? Are you in the US? Are you, I don't know, in a community of book lovers somehow? Because if so, that sounds great and I would love to be there with you. But near the end of our trek, we ended up going to some more well-off neighborhoods, and that's actually where I found a couple books that I wanted to pick up. So the first little free library that I got a book at was like this really big kind of like hutch sort of thing almost on the ground, and on the website they had said it was a quarantine hobby for the family and it like matched the color of the house, which was super cute. But they had like a ton of books in there, which was great, and I ended up picking up All the Feels by Olivia Dade. And this is like a romance from last year, from 2021, and it follows these characters on the cover. But it follows like an actor who has been a bad boy and now has to get a minder to make sure that he stays in the good graces of like the showrunners. Is basically the gist I'm getting from this. I don't know too much about it, but it looks cute, and I've heard good stuff about this author's work, so I thought I would just give it a shot and see how it goes, because I'm in my romance era, apparently. And then the next little free library that we found had a similar kind of mix of like older books, but I also found this little kind of like booklet pamphlet. It says my favorite quote book, and it's just like collections of nice quotes, and I love collecting quotes, so this is perfect for me. And it's just like a cute little notebook. It's another wonderful part of the experience is finding like fun little things like this. I really love wandering around looking at little free libraries because it gets me walking, which is good. Exercise is healthy, and I don't do enough of it. But I also really like looking at like all the houses and seeing like landscaping. I think this makes me an adult saying that I like looking at people's landscaping, but it's really cool seeing like all the different gardens and the flowers that people have. And I don't have much of a green thumb, so it's very like aspirational for me, and I'm like, this is never gonna be me. But they're really beautiful to look at. And it's really cool when the libraries like match the houses in color or like shape or something. That's fun as well. And there was one little free library where the front yard had like a bunch of little like gnomes and like fairy statues scattered around it, which was also super fun. Just really fun to explore neighborhoods and see all the like quirks of people's houses and yards. And it's something that I feel like I didn't appreciate till I got older. So I'd love to hear if y'all have any cool little free libraries in your area, or maybe even like what the best thing you've picked out of a little free library has been. Like if you found any really neat books or even little booklets or pamphlets or something, let me know because I'd love to hear it. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I hope to see you next time. So a few weeks ago I made like an unhaul little free library book, not book. And I feel like I've seen a few people, like in the US especially, not especially, entirely, but I've seen